What's it about the green lip mussels that are so beneficial?
Firstly, green lip mussels itself, being from New Zealand cold waters, allows the green lip mussels to have very high level of omega-3s, which are really good for you. So our environment is really unique. And of course, they have unique omega-3s such as ETA, eicosapentaenoic acid, which is a secret to why it's so good for joint health.
So what was it that firstly you decided to go down that road, and then with Halter, what was the impetus behind it?
Spring was probably killing me. Just so much workload with how our system, what we were doing with all the hot wires, and then with sort of all the rules and regulations that were coming in with all the environment stuff. We're going, how can we keep farming our cows on our hill country?
G'day everyone, welcome into the program, and coming up for you on the show today in a moment, we're going to be talking with Ron Park, who is the CEO and founder of a Canterbury-based health supplements company, but he's also taken out the 2026 Meat Industry Association Dragon's Den competition for his Kiwi Tender range of premium New Zealand red meat products. It's got what he calls a tongue-soft texture for elderly and unwell people. So we're going to talk about that and discuss the process of how he actually achieved it, and also why he's known as the Mussel King. So Ron Park on the program, plus also Natasha and Alan Cave will join us as well. Now they are from Rotowai Farms near Te Kuiti, and they were early adopters of the Halter wearable technology, and we're going to find out whether it's proved valuable on their farm or not, and the Rotowai Angus stud. And also Natasha wrote a Kellogg report last year called Beef on the Brink of a Tech Revolution, Wearables on New Zealand Hill Country. So we're going to talk to her about that, what she found out. So that's all coming up on the program for you today. Don't forget, as always, to like, comment and subscribe. All right, so a New Zealand red meat product range with tongue-soft texture for elderly or unwell people has won the 2026 Meat Industry Association Dragon's Den competition. Now, it was won by Ron Park, and he joins us now on the program. It's lovely to have you on, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Dominic. I'm very happy to be here.
Firstly, just set the scene. So you are based in Canterbury, correct?
Yes, Christchurch, yeah.
Yep. And you have a health supplements company. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so I started this health supplement company, Kōrure, while I was at University of Canterbury. And I started that back in 2017 as part of the entrepreneurship course at University of Canterbury. And the origin story of that is I was a bit of a hustler when I was young. So first year of uni, I started selling New Zealand supplements into Asian countries such as Korea, where my family's from. And what happened was that I realized all these New Zealand supplement companies were actually just importing products from overseas, from China and India, and sticking a label saying that it's from New Zealand, made in New Zealand. Regulation was a bit more free back then, so you can actually claim that it was made in New Zealand. Now you can't do that. So, someone that has actually grew up with taking New Zealand supplements all my life, I kind of thought like, I'm actually backstabbing my family and friends I was selling this to and becoming a liar. So that's when I realized I wanted to create something that was genuinely New Zealand. And I found New Zealand green lip mussel, which was really clinically well studied, was good for joint health, native to New Zealand, right? So you couldn't fake it. That's why I started with that supplement. And now I'm known as the Mussel King, not like these mussels, but New Zealand green lip mussels. And that's where it began. And I believe we're coming up 9 years now. So it's been a wee while. I may look 21. I'm kidding. I'm actually 31.
Dude, I was going to say, I'm like, you've packed a lot in because you honestly, you look like you're in your 20s, I got to say. But anyway, well done. Yeah,
I was kidding, but thank you.
Congratulations on that as well. Something must be working.
The muscles.
It's got to be the mussels, right? Yeah. So what's it about mussels, the green lip mussels, that are so beneficial?
Right, so I can kind of talk in 3 points. So firstly, green lip mussels itself, being from New Zealand cold waters, we're at the bottom of the world. We have one of the coldest waters. We're in Antarctica, right? So the cold waters allows the Greenland mussels to have very high level of omega-3s, which are really good for you. And it's unique to us. Like you can grow Greenland mussels from, let's say, China or India, let's just say. It's not going to have the same health benefits as what we have it here. So our environment is really unique. And of course, they have unique omega-3 such as ETA, eicosapentaenoic acid, which is a secret to why it's so good for joint health. It has been a lot of papers around its anti-inflammatory properties. And it really helps a lot of people with arthritis or joint pain, like relieve the pain so they can actually move again.
Wow, that's great. So that's effectively anti-inflammatory properties, these sorts of things. But I can't believe that we were repackaging products from other countries and sending them off. That's crazy. I wouldn't have picked it, but there you go. You found it out and you've done something about it. Good on you.
Definitely. And, over the last decade when I was running the business, the regulation has changed now and you have to write things like made from imported ingredients. But back then when I first started, it was wild, wild west. You could label anything, you can claim anything. People were saying that, some products were solving cancer and yeah. It was a bit different back then.
Yeah. Well, that's the sort of thing where regulation isn't bad. Generally, it can be a little cumbersome, but you need it sometimes, right? So tell me, the Kiwi Tender range of premium New Zealand red meat products, what made you firstly decide to go down that road and then enter the Dragon's Den competition with this Kiwi Tender range?
So I'll just have to tell you another quick story, if you don't mind. So it's a bit of a passion project of mine. So, imagine sort of your typical Kiwi Christmas dinner, right? You've got your family, you're having your roast and whatnot. And last Christmas, I realized that my grandma wasn't really eating properly. So, I was just kind of curious and I was asking her like, hey, why are you not eating? Are you unwell? And I realized that when you get older, as you get older, you struggle to do a lot of day-to-day things. And that includes chewing and eating meat. As you can tell, meat, it has fibrous texture. Elders actually struggle to consume that. As a younger person, not young, but a younger person, you don't really think about these things. And when I learned that, I wanted to find a solution for my grandma. And sort of the motto that I have for this venture is, every dinner where everyone can enjoy, not just selected few. So that's sort of the story behind why I wanted to do this. And obviously, sort of coming from university, sort of technical background, I wanted to find innovative ways to make this happen, not just make a product. So I went back to talk to a couple of my business partners, lecturers from universities and whatnot, and found ways that we can tenderize the meat. So it's tongue chewable. I love the word tongue chewable because you can really imagine, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the story. We're early stage. We've made some lab products at the moment, but we're getting help from universities, Massey, Canterbury, Otago, and guys at Anscombe Alliance to make this really come true. Because we are not the first to create this kiwi tenderization. We're using New Zealand kiwi fruit to tenderize using the enzymes. There's been a lot of work that has been done before, but we just wanted to take it to the next level.
Right. Okay. So go back a step. Kiwi fruit. So that's the tenderization process. You use that to be able, that's the sort of the technical process. Talk me through it. How does it work? You've got a lovely bit of grass-fed New Zealand meat. You want to make it a bit more chewable, palatable, as it were, for, the elderly, etc. How do you do that?
Exactly. So the Kiwi Tender it was actually a play on with words. We are from New Zealand, Kiwi, but at the same time, we're literally using kiwi fruit enzymes to tenderize the meat. So it's almost like a pre-treatment. So you have your lovely New Zealand premium beef, lamb, venison, you call it. You will use the extracted kiwi enzyme, treat it almost, and then the enzymes in kiwi fruit will actually dissolve the meat and tenderize it during that process. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so this is done what? Prior, you can buy it like when you envisage this on the market, that process will have taken place. You then sell that that's been had the kiwi fruit treatment, as it were, on, and people buy it like that, ready to what? Then you just cook it and it's tender. Is that the way it works?
Exactly. That's exactly right. So we have other sort of trade secret processes that we have in between. So we'll pre-treat it and then we'll further tenderize it using different techniques that we have come up with. But essentially, the final product will be a ready-to-eat meat. You can cook it if you want to, like sausages, for example, but just way better. Yeah, you can cook it if you want to. You can eat it straight away if you want to. Yeah.
So, Ron, what does it do to the, I guess, the nutritional value, etc.? Is any of that compromised in the process?
No, it's better. So there's been a clinical trial or work that's been done by amazing Kiwis. So what has the result? The results from the studies showed that the hydrolysis or the Kiwi sort of treatment process actually increases the aroma, the texture, and also, most importantly for elderlies, the absorption rate of the protein.
Oh,
It
okay.
breaks it down. So it's not just a tenderized meat, it's actually a better product because, sorry to go into this because I'm a little bit passionate, elderlies actually, as you get older, you struggle to absorb protein. And lower amount of protein, they eat less, lower amount of absorption, meaning that their overall muscles decreases, which results in many different health issues. So this treatment will not only just make a great, amazing product, but also at the same time make product that is actually absorbable, more bioavailable, that will in turn be good for the elderly.
Yeah, right. The bioavailability. Yeah, that's the. I guess that's the key to the whole thing, really, which is fantastic. And when you say it can be crushed with the tongue, so what sort of texture are we actually talking about here?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. So, in regards to the tenderization process and the softness, so there's actually four different levels. And I haven't reinvented this wheel. It's actually something that has been used in Taiwan at the moment, and that's the model that we're adopting. So, the four sort of levels is obviously you've got your firmness, like a normal meat firmness, and then on the other spectrum is almost a soupy texture. Yeah. So, and then you've got the in between the two. So if you can imagine, our sort of Kiwi Tender products will sit on this level and this level. So
Okay.
you'll be able to chew it with your tongue. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense then. So yeah, the idea came from obviously your family and Christmas dinner and that there, and so you've got sort of other examples around the world. You did mention sort of Singapore. Are there any other like products on the market?
So there's only one company that's actually commercialized this, and it's only in Taiwan from my limited
Taiwan.
research.
Yeah.
Limited research. And what I can say is that we're going to become the market leader because their products, I'll send you a photo later, looks like some lolly you buy from a corner dairy. Like it's colorful. It's like in a little wee, I don't even know how to call it, like a bag, and it's got gooey stuff inside and like small pellets of meat.
Oh, wow.
I'll send you a photo. It looks quite disgusting, really. It looks like, I mean, even pet food is better than that these days, right? Yeah, so that's their sort of way of doing it, highly, highly processed. And our sort of aim is to bring the whole premium New Zealand meat as soft as possible, as it is, not highly processed and make it into some corner dairy lolly looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's an important part of it because, people's perceptions of what they're buying, if they want to be buying meat, then they'll want it to kind of look like meat for a start, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? No one misses out. If I was to bring up that Taiwanese product to my grandma, I don't think she'll eat it. I wouldn't want to eat it, right? So we want her to experience Christmas dinner or just dinner in general where she doesn't feel like she's missing out on it. So it just needs to look apart, really.
Yeah, I think that's part's massively important. Yeah, okay. So, what was it like to pitch this to the team at the Meat Industry Association at the Dragon's Den Comp and go through that process?
It was pretty amazing, really. You're sitting in front of, the market leaders, the thought leaders, the scientists, people that are the smartest are sitting in front of you, listening to your pitch. So it was quite nerve-wracking, I'll be honest. I honestly didn't think I would win, given that all the ideas that were in the finalist panels were highly innovative, very technical. So That's number one. I was quite nervous. Secondly, everyone's very supportive. So we had the pitch, and then afterwards we had dinner together. Barbecue dinner, because it was a meat in MIA, right? A lot of good meat there, so we had barbecue, and everyone was just loved the idea. They just asked me like, how can we support? Like, what can we do? Like, do you need grants, funding, blah blah blah. So it's been a really cool experience where it really helped me. I'll say it like this, Dominic. If it wasn't for this competition, I don't think this idea would have gone through.
Oh wow, okay.
So I'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from this competition, it's not about the prize or anything. It's the network and the support that comes with it that really shapes the future of businesses. So it's been great.
Yeah, that's cool, because I imagine there'll be a scenario where they will kind of be a shoulder to lean on, I suppose, and lend expertise throughout the process. They won't just go, okay, here's the prize money, go and do your thing. There'll be a bit more, sort of hands-on maybe.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've been having multiple meetings since the competition. So I'm meeting with obviously MIA. I have a meeting with the DINS, which is Deer Association. I'm having a meeting with ANSCO, like all these guys. Massey University, Canterbury, of course. So very supportive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, because I guess the thing is, these ideas, they don't necessarily always come off, do they? I mean, you've been given the chance. What do you think is the chance of success of this actually, and I don't know, you tell me the time frame, but, I don't know if you've got one, but actually this being on the shelves available for, people in this country and beyond to purchase?
Definitely, I do have a plan, which is a good start. Yeah. So first step for us is finalising the product development, getting the MVP ready. So we've got a lab trial done. We want to scale that up slightly and actually have product testing. So elderlies to try the product and the flavour profile and whatnot. So that's the first year, just getting that done. And then the second is actually scaling that up into a pilot plant where we can actually prove to investors or for the community that we can actually scale this further. And then the third year is for us to really fully go commercial into the export markets, like the Asian markets that we're targeting and whatnot. Yeah.
Great. That's good. I like it. 10 grand, I think, initially you get for winning the Dragon's Den comp. So that'll help, obviously, with, that phase of it, that sort of research phase, I suppose. Yeah.
Definitely. And I'm very grateful for this, but I just have to clarify, and I hope this message goes out there, because 10 grand is not a lot of money when it comes to innovative technical products like this. So anyone that is listening, if you're listening, please tell your family, friends, we need funding. I'm just going to be very blatantly out there. I'm not a person who's going to just say, I want this competition, and not going to do anything about it. I've got 10 grand in my cash. I'm actually going to do something about it. And being completely honest, 9 years of business, this is not my first business. This isn't my first technical commercialization that I'm doing. It needs millions of dollars. And if we want to improve our country's economy, and when it comes to meat through innovation, because, sorry, I'm very passionate about this. What we lack in New Zealand right now is that we're great at doing primary industries, but all the money is being made overseas. They're processing it, they're selling it, they've got the margin. What we need to do as a country is to increase our product's value. And that's what we want to do. And we need funding for such as, tenderized meat. We'll be able to create margin doing these innovative things, right? It doesn't happen overnight. It needs money, it needs funding. So if anyone's hearing this, please give me your money. I'm not going to waste it. I'm actually going to do something about it and then grow our economy.
Well, I totally agree with you. I think those things have to be looked at. I guess that's the reason why MIA, set up something like this, is to get the ball rolling on some of this innovation and stuff like that. So good pitch too. I like that. Yeah, good man. How do people get in touch with you? Should they want to find out more?
You can email me or call me. I don't really mind, really. So I'll drop an email. Currently, my email that I'm using is just ron.park, which is my full name, rn.park, at Kōrure.com, which is the company that I funded out of University of Canterbury. So, or my phone number, 021 2940. I don't know if I should do that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's not give the phone number out, man. You don't know what kind of can of worms that one will open. If people Google, as you say, Kōrure, what's Kourure?
Yes, correct. .com.
Yeah. Yep, .com. There you go. You'll find Ron that way, and you can find out more about Kiwi Tender, which is very cool. It's just one, as I said at the start there, the 2026 Meat Industry Association Dragon's Den competition. We'll be watching with great interest, Ron. It's been nice to talk with you. All the best with it.
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you for your time.
We're going to be looking at another one of these Kellogg reports. We had one last week. It's bloody interesting too. So we've got another one for you. We've got Natasha Cave and her husband Alan with us now, and Natasha can talk about what her Kellogg topic was. But let's introduce these guys. Lovely to have you on the program. How are you?
Good, thank you, Dom.
Yeah, not too bad.
Excellent. So where are you guys farming exactly?
So we are halfway between Te Kuiti and Taumaranui in a little valley called Mukawiti.
Mukawiti. Okay, very nice. And there is Rotowai Angus, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
How long have you guys had that for?
10 years this year is about how long the stud's been up and running. Kicking off 10 years, celebrating 10 years with our first on-farm sale in September.
Oh, good stuff. Okay, so it'll get busy around that time of year. I mean, it's probably busy about now, is it? What's happening on farm at the moment?
Well, it's supposed to be the quiet time, but it doesn't feel like it.
Never is, though, is it?
Nah. Just very trying to do maintenance and getting rams and ewes ready for rams and all that sort of stuff.
Natasha, you had a look at wearables effectively with your Kellogg paper. So what was the question that you were asking?
I was just looking at the proposition of wearables on beef, particularly on our hill country in New Zealand. It started off, I changed tact partway through the Kellogg. I think to start off with, I was sort of looking at the value proposition, and then I decided that was a little bit too tricky. I kind of realised that the value that everyone gets out of it is going to be very different depending on your farm system, how well subdivided you are, what changes you implement, things like that. So it kind of ended up being more some recommendations for farmers and industry that could be taken away, and just where those key areas were on farm that benefits could be seen.
Because, Alan, I think you guys were one of the sort of early adopters of I think you got Halter on the farm, haven't you?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
When did you dive into the wearables?
We collared in February 2024.
Right. Yeah. Because it's still pretty new technology, really, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ever-changing beast at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. So what was it that firstly you decided to go down that road, and then with Halter, what was the impetus behind it?
Before I started, spring was probably killing me. Just so much workload with how our system, what we were doing with all the hot wires. So that was one of the things, and then with sort of all the rules and regulations that were coming in with all the environment stuff, we're going, how can we keep farming our cows on our hill country, keep the cows profitable, and just be able to keep doing it. So,
I was reading something earlier from a few years ago, and Natasha, I think it quoted you in this news article, and you're talking about exactly what Alan was saying around the rules and the regulations, and that was a big talking point a few years ago, wasn't it? Because let's be fair, that was exactly what the landscape was like. Have you guys noticed any change in the last wee while?
Well, the regulation space has backed off. There's a bit of an empty void there at the moment. We're in a bit of a vacuum. But I think our thoughts are that we just keep getting ahead of regulation, like just keep doing the good work, and hopefully that means regulation's not such a battle.
Yeah, fair enough. With the wearables, how did you decide sort of which parts of the farm to sort of target, what blocks, what paddocks, etc., towers and all that sort of stuff? Talk me through that.
Well, we're a whole farm, so our whole farm's covered, because when we basically looked into it, signed up, that's what they were doing, because we're part of the partnership. So that was whole farm. So they figured out all the towers and all that sort of stuff. And what was the other question? Forgotten already.
No, that's pretty much it. Well, I was just saying, how did you sort of decide, which parts of the area or which parts of the farm to use it on?
I suppose, because we were just started off originally going, we're just going to do cows. Well, that's what I was sort of thinking. It was just do our cows and go from there, and just keep everything else as per same. But that has since changed.
So our cattle are integrated over the whole farm. Like, we don't have a set sheep. Well, the sheep are probably more in a set block, but the cattle are integrated through the whole system. So that's a big chunk of really why the whole farm ended up with cows.
So what changes have you noticed? What would have been the positives from using them?
Carrying capacity was probably the biggest one. Lifting in our cattle numbers without dropping performance. Just hasn't increased performance per se per animal, but we've increased the numbers on the same areas. Like in some areas here, I'm just running, say, my heifers, they run in the same area, but they're lifted 20% in numbers with the same performance, and same what I'm going to do with the steers and that this year. And then the cows, well, that's lifted about that same 20 odd percent, but they're just a bit harder to work out then because they're over the whole farm anyway.
Right.
And reduce inputs into those as well. So we're not feeding out anywhere near as much supplement as hay and silage as we were to get through the winter, now that we've got the wearables on.
Right, so definitely advantageous then. Good move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Anything else you can talk to that you've noticed that would bear other people knowing about, other farmers in a position where they're going, do we, don't we?
Well, obviously the workload. I mean, Alan's been able to run that extra 20% cattle, and it's not killed him. It's probably hopefully reduced the stress slightly than it was. I work off farm, so I'm not there to help. So, but to lift by that many cattle and not increase workload's pretty impressive. Or actually reduce workload. I think our pasture sward's improved, eh?
Yeah,
definitely a lot better pasture quality now. We probably don't notice it ourselves. Like, we do notice it, but not quite the same as it's when other people come on farm and they have a look around and they're like, oh, wow, your grass looks amazing. When you're living it every day, you kind of don't notice it quite the same.
Especially in your country.
Right, of course, yeah. It's like when someone hasn't seen your kids for a while, right? And they're like, geez, they've grown up, haven't they? Yeah. You're like, oh, I don't know.
It just look the same. Yep.
They look the bloody same to me. Yeah. So then how often are you shifting the cows and, that sort of thing?
Every day. They're on daily breaks. So They get a fresh break every day. And I try and back fence them off where I can as soon as I can. So water and shade's a limiting factor for what we can do for our paddocks. So, you start where you start, and then as soon as I can back fence them off, I will. So, yeah, every day you're thinking about them, where they are, what you're doing with them, the next shift.
When it's wet, they'll get 2 shifts a day.
Right.
But and then those breaks are worked. He's very much working those breaks on, cow requirement, plus what grass is available in the paddock and what he wants his residuals to be for that time of year.
Calf weight? What anything there?
The average is, when I sat down and worked it out, the average has pretty much stayed the same, our weaning weight. Some of it, like last year with that drought, the daily gain lifted a little bit while held, and the younger cows it lifted, the older cows it held. But I shut those cows down quite early in that dry period. As soon as the bull come out, I slowed them right down. And then I thought it'd be interesting this year, but the same thing, it's still much along our average, like the overall weaning weight, still the same. But because we're carrying those extra 30 to 40 cows now, what we had done in the past on the same area with the less inputs. We've got a lift in total kilos.
All right. Well, that bodes all right then, doesn't it? That seems to be doing the trick. Natasha, what conclusions did you draw from your research?
Around the cow-calf, I looked at creek grazing in the cow-calf situation, and that was probably one thing where we were expecting to see a lift, but we haven't. But I mean, some guys might see a lift if, depending on what they're already achieving. But something I didn't look at was the transition period after weaning for those calves. Typically we see them sort of stop doing anything growing for a couple of weeks after weaning. Months, yeah. And I didn't actually look at that in the report, and it's now something I've thought about afterwards, and I think there's probably a benefit there. Like, the calves are by the time we get to weaning, the calves are very, very independent. They're off grazing away from mum. So, you still get the bellowing at weaning, but I do think they transition away from mum far happier and far better. So we'd stopped weighing our calves after weaning because we got so disheartened because they just didn't do anything. So we've got nothing to compare to. But I think last year they trucked on quite nicely after weaning.
Yeah, you still had a bit of a check, but they picked up within a month or so, or within the month they were back to putting on weight again.
So the in the paddock then, obviously, as you just said, the calves, no dramas really there.
Nah, they wander off and do their own thing.
Yeah. How often do you eyeball them?
Oh well, because I'm still shifting them like when they're on their cows. You still got to shift them. I've still got to shift them between paddock to paddock. So the same amount as I was beforehand, because I still those paddocks the same amount of time, but. Yeah, still got to let them through the gate and shift the cows and calves, so you got to be there. So it's still that regular contact with them.
Regular contact, yeah. So okay. So some things change, other things stay the same, effectively.
Yeah, it's just within what you're doing within the paddock. Really, you still got to move them between the paddocks, but say that back fencing and how you're grazing those paddocks is just a hell of a lot different to what it was compared to previously.
So recommendations then, Natasha, that was kind of, you were sort of looking at this system and, asking a few questions. What sort of recommendations did you pop up with?
There's a big piece there around farmer learning, right? Like Alan just alluded to, it was a big learning curve going from that really extensive grazing system into a far more intensive grazing system, and having to understand what his pasture covers were and what his cattle requirements were and what growth rates look like and things like that. Because you can do it right, but it's also quite easy to cock it up as well if you don't quite get it right. So that learning and throwing the rule book out the window, like he was funny. First calving with it, he put the brakes in the paddock and he just done it the way he'd always done it, and then he got halfway through the paddock and he sort of thought to himself, why did I do it like that? I don't have to do it like that anymore. I can do it differently. So just being open to change and learning a whole new system. I think something that I've thought about afterwards and I didn't actually address in my report is drench resistance. So probably not quite so bad in our system where we've got the breeding cows and the older stock and still got sheep integrated in the system as well. But I think if you're looking to go to just a pure Frisian bull type system, particularly with just younger stock, drench resistance would be something you need to really consider. We've got to learn the lessons that we've learned with sheep and not repeat them. So that'd be something I'd be, if I was doing that system, be seriously looking at. But we've got our experience with Halter, and we've seen some, we think they're pretty great achievements with it, but that's just our story and that's what's worked for us and worked in our system. But every system is going to be different and everyone's going to want to do things differently. So by no means don't copy what we do.
Yeah. Read your report, but don't copy necessarily. Well, that's the thing, right? And yeah, it is horses for courses. Are you still
Every
on?
system's different.
And every farm's different, and every climate's different, and you take that into account when you.
It's about making it work for your own system.
Exactly. Yeah. And
a paddock's now not a paddock. You don't look at a paddock the same way you used to, because you put them in there, say 10 days, worry about them in 10 days, but now you're thinking about them every day. Where they're going to, how am I going to run them, where can they get round, access to water, access to shade, how they move around the hills, how can they get from there back to there, things like that. You don't just slap a line up in the middle of the paddock and say, see you later, because it might end bad.
Yeah, so
I don't have to walk there, so I should be right. But you still got to think about, if I was putting a hot wire up, would you walk there? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's a good point. So it's not like so there's changes. It's not like as you say, you just sort of slap it up and away they go. There's still
got to think about it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, are you still involved with the environment group? I think, Natasha, were you doing something with the environment group?
I'm general manager for the Whanganui Region Catchment Collective. That's my day job, my off-farm job.
Right, very good. Yeah. And I think you're on the Beef and Lamb Northern North Island Farmer Council.
Yeah,
I think that's
Northern North Island Farmer Council.
Right.
Yeah, that as well. So
yeah.
So still doing all that stuff in the background as well. Yeah.
What are the big issues around there at the moment that you see?
Fuel price.
Say no more.
Fuel price, and then what's going to be a big lift in fertiliser price. And we just had the helicopter here on Sunday, so I'm guessing that bill's going to have gone up a heck of a lot in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the fert price is it's inevitable, isn't it, that it's going to rise? I think there's been a few whispers of people saying, "Oh no, it's all right. We're good for now. We've got this." Like, yeah, come on, please.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but at least product prices are good, and interest rates aren't too high yet. So, it's not all bad.
No, it certainly isn't, and they are very uncontrollable things. Or I suppose all you can do is, control what's happening on your property, and that's about it, really.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, 100%. And that was part of why we went down the wearable road, was to shore our business up for the future. We went through farm succession. I do sometimes wonder whether there's a bit of a perception that we had lots of money and were able to do this, and we just kind of, doing it for, whatever, lazy, whatever. But that wasn't the case. We gone through farm succession, and we needed to make sure our business was going to be profitable in the future and be able to withstand the next downturn, which we were hoping was going to be a little bit further away than the last one.
It's not straight into it.
But that was the big. It was kind of like sink or swim for us, really, and we had to make the wearables work. We've had to make them pay for themselves, and then some is the idea.
Yes, exactly. And so far so good on that front.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with the breeding system, it takes a couple of years to actually see the benefits in the bank account. But when you're looking at an extra 10 tonne of weaned calves on the ground, that we will hopefully go through and finish that additional 10 tonne as well, it starts to stack up pretty quickly.
It just gives you more options, because we were pre-Halter. I was probably looking at sort of dropping my cow numbers back, and then probably selling a few weaners and things like that, just to make things easier. But we've been able to lift the cow numbers, and now we'll carry everything through, at least carry through the first winter, and see what the system's like out the other side. If prices are right, might store a few of the cull heifers and things like that. But so it's given us more options, instead of being sort of stuck of, okay, we're going to do this. You go, I can carry them through the winter now without the extra workload, without the feeding out and all that sort of stuff. So I can do that. And then you get to September and go, try and make a call there. Do we carry? Do we keep going? Yeah, just try. Hopefully it just gives us a few more options on how to do things.
Bit more flexibility in the system. Yeah. And you just mentioned there, just to finish up on, you, as I said at the start, you guys were early adopters, and you've spoken about some of the, you put this on the farm, and some people, will sort of look at you and go, look at these guys, who do they think they are, type thing. But it's becoming more ubiquitous now, but in those early days, did you have to? I mean, it's not like you have to convince people because it's what you're doing, but was it that kind of the semi awkward at times, that kind of doing that?
We didn't tell anyone that we were putting Halter on the farm until the collars went on the cows, basically. We just kept it very quiet on the down low because, we were a bit concerned about what the perception was. But I think you've got to not worry about that sometimes, and just do what you think's best for your farm and your business. And there's always going to be people that want to bring things. It's
certainly changed over the last 12 months.
Yeah, the attitude towards it has changed immensely. It went from when we first collared, it was a lot of how's this going to hold our beef cows? This will never hold my beef cows. And now it's moved to, how can we implement this into our system? What does that look like, and how do we change our system, and how do the whole, and that's quite a quick shift in thinking or attitude that we've seen from other people. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's sort of snowballing a wee bit. Yeah, it is interesting. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you for your time this morning, guys, both of you. I really do appreciate it. And thanks for the insight into all of that. Good luck for September as well with the sale. I'm sure it'll go well. Yeah.
More luck we can get.
Yeah. Well, you sound like you're doing things right. So, no, bloody good to talk to both of you. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No worries. Cool. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget, as always, if you want to leave a comment or subscribe to the channel, like the page, and we've got new episodes for you every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Until next time, take care.